Hi, welcome to the Purls and Polish podcast, episode 34. My name is Rachel. I'm your host, coming to you from just outside Sacramento, California. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry, and links to those are on the description below, along with all the makers and designers and dyers and anyone else I mentioned in today's episode. If you're a new viewer, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. This is my little corner of the internet where I talk about knitting and planners and pens and just anything else that I enjoy and I enjoy sharing with you. So thanks for spending a bit of time with me today. Let's jump in. Finished objects. I have none. This is probably the first time in like a year that I don't have something finished to show you in an episode. It feels a little weird if I'm being completely honest. We'll talk a little bit more about that a little later in the episode, but nothing's finished. I still have the two works in progress that I have from the beginning of the year, so from last episode. So let's pull those out. I have finished my first sock. This was my New Year's cast on. This yarn is by Purls and Postulates, and this was a gift from my Winter Wishes Sock Shop partner. So I wanted to save it for New Year's just to start the year off with something nice, something fun, like pink. So first sock is done. Second sock, I've got 50 rounds done. I have about 10 more rounds and then I'll start the heel. I think it's been a while since I've told you like how I knit my socks. So I use a US 1.5 sock needle. So that is 2.5 millimeters. Most people use a US 1, which is a 2.25 millimeters. I'm a tighter knitter when I knit socks, so I just need that 0.25 millimeters so that I can hit a wearable gauge. I don't know why, but it works. I prefer magic loop, so this is a 32-inch cable. I've tried DPNs, I've tried 9-inch circulars, I've tried 2 circs, and I can't do it. 32 is that like sweet spot for me. I've tried 40-inch, and that's too much cable. And I've tried 40-inch 2 at a time, and I can do it, but not as comfortably as I'd like to. So I definitely need to practice that a little bit more in this upcoming year to see if that might be a possibility for me. But right now I just knit one sock and then I start the next one. So I cast on 64 stitches. I love a 2x2 rib cuff. I usually do about 60 rounds for the leg. I always get the leg and the foot mixed up. I don't know why. Typically do a heel flap and gusset. And then for me, because I've knit enough socks, I kind of know how many rounds I do from where I start my heel to where I need to start my toe. So I'm around 70 to 80 rounds. So I have these little stitch markers and I put these for every 10 rounds. And once I hit 70, then I start measuring to see like how much more do I need to do. And then I do I don't know what kind of toe that's called, to be honest, but I decrease every other round until I get to 16 stitches and then I'm done. So those are my socks. So I anticipate being done with the leg today. I'll probably start the heel flap today. I don't like doing a heel flap unless I've like done the heel flap, the turn, and I've picked up my stitches. So we'll shoot for that today, but we'll see if we actually accomplish that. So there's that. The second item is my Fight Club project. And if you missed last week's episode, I talk about my Fight Club project. It is in this beautiful bag from Craft Me Not. I was in her winter conservatory box, which was lovely. So this has been a great place to put my project. I am working on a long-term project for a knitwear designer, but it is like super, super secret. I can't talk about who the designer is. I can't talk about the patterns. The only thing I can talk about is the yarn choice. So that's all I can show you. I can't show you what the actual project is, but I can show you the yarn. So this is, I can't pronounce it. I don't speak French, but it's, I think, Biches and Buches is their La Grasse lamb's wool. And this is the color dark blue turquoise. It's an Aran weight, which I have not worked with Aran before. It's a thick weight, kind of like bulky. I think it's in that range. So this is new for me. And the pattern said I should have enough yarn. This is 210 yards. So I knew I was going to be like playing yarn chicken. I'm about halfway done through the pattern. I only have like 25 grams left, and I need like at least another 25 grams to complete this project. So Rachel can't math. I thought I could make it, and I clearly cannot. I did go with the larger size, so obviously I needed more yarn. So I'm gonna be ordering some more so I can finish up this project. As soon as I get the all clear to show you what it is, I will show you all the things that I worked on for this. But here is Secret Squirrel project number 1. So there is that. So those two are coming along nicely. Hi, this is Rachel from the future. So I had a whole whip I was so excited to talk to you guys about, and I forgot to write it in my show notes. So this is many hours later. It is now nighttime, and I still really wanted to talk about this. So I started a scrappy blanket. I know I mentioned that I was gonna do Scrappy Sunday. So I cast on my blanket last Sunday. This is the northeasterly blanket, and I'm working on my first strip. I'll show you guys part of it. And it's like a chevron stripe. So you cast on so many stitches, and then you decrease on one side, increase, and then you have your middle stitch, and then you increase and you decrease on the other side. And then you just, knit. So you have this slip stitch kind of spine in the middle, which is great. And then this pattern is written to be either for fingering weight yarn or DK. So I'm holding my fingering weight yarn double so I can get a DK weight, and we're just going. So I'm using all these minis that I've been saving from various dyers. Pretty much anyone who's had like a mini bundle for the last like 3 years, I've probably have bought one, and so I have a bunch of minis. I got quite a few minis from Gabs of Slip Slip Sis from our Advent swap. Hers were 10 gram minis, so I have those in here. And then I'm doing Row 1 subscription, which is another series of 10 gram minis, and then all my leftovers as well. So I have quite a bit of yarn to work with. So this green one is from Gabs. I have no idea what it is, but it's really squishy and very bright. This gray is from Yarnacious, who was the dyer for Yarn 1 for January. This pink one was from Gabs. This brown one was from Yarn to You from her Advent for 2021 or 2022. This pink one is another Yarnacious. This blue one is Fiberology, and then this red that I just started is also Yarnacious. And then you knit your ends in as you go, so you don't have to weave in a bunch of ends. So I'm shooting for like a lap size blanket, maybe a little bigger, because I have that many leftovers. So I am currently only doing 10 grams held double to kind of as like my starting off point. And then I'll have like various grammage, length, just so I can get like a really patchy look. I think that's the look I'm going for. I currently have DPNs. These are, hold on, they're right here. Knittish Pride Cubics. I took an ergonomics class a couple years ago, done by Ergo I Knit, and I'll link their profile below. And he spent a lot of time talking about finding the right kind of needles and how square needles help with hand pain because it gives you an actual like ridge to grip. So I've been trying them out, and I like the idea of a square needle, but I don't like these wooden ones. I'm used to a metal needle that has a really sharp tip. So these are not cutting it for me. So I got these Chow Goos. They're from Amazon, but these are a little shorter, but they do have a sharper tip. So I'm gonna try these out and see if that works better for me. But this is, ideally my Sunday project. Every once in a while I'll pick it up because I just feel like it. But that's my other whip that I forgot to mention. Enjoy the rest of the episode. So in last episode, I talked about this whole knit and be happy. So for the last 2 years, I've done Year of Socks, which has been great. I've learned a lot about my abilities, that yes, I can knit 12 pairs of socks in a year, 1 pair per month. I actually can knit quite a few more than that. However, this year I decided not to do that. I'm just gonna knit and be happy. Well, here's the thing that I have learned. I love like firm guidelines and firm like deadlines. It's great. However, I don't have that this year, and I have been feeling lots of like maker's guilt. I don't know if that's a thing, but usually by now I'm done with my first pair of socks for like Year of Socks. It's the 12th and I should be done. And it feels weird not to like be trying to hit that deadline so that I can maybe get some time to work on something else. So I'm definitely feeling the pressure, and it's not pressure for anyone else. It's like that personal pressure of I need to like finish things and get things made. It's a behavior I need to unlearn this year, and it's really fascinating. Definitely in the last 6 months, some things have changed in just life here at home. I started taking Taekwondo lessons. So that's 2 nights a week that I am off, hi-ying my way through life and not knitting. So that's already some chunk of time taken out. Working, of course, I work part-time outside of the home, so there's that. I can't take my knitting with me because I have to work, unless I'm doing like a webinar type thing. So I'm not rethinking, but I'm just becoming more aware of like, where do I actually have time to make and knit? And it's okay if I decide I'd rather go to bed than try to go and finish this thing by a deadline. So yeah, we're gonna see a lot of behaviors unlearned this year. I don't know if that's gonna mean that I'm not gonna just make as much, but I'm hoping it's gonna shift kind of a behavioral change so where I enjoy the making more. I don't know if that makes any sense. Is this something that you guys struggle with, or is this just me? So this next thing I'm really excited about. So Gary of Gary Knits, Gary Rides does a cycling race every year with Life Cycle, and Life Cycle does AIDS research and awareness. So he rides his bike from San Francisco all the way down to Los Angeles in like a handful of days. That's 545 miles. I can't do that, but I love that he can. And so part of that is that he needs to raise funding. So he does this thing called Destash for Good, and applications opened up today. So you can submit some of your stash that you would like to sell, and half of whatever you receive has to go to his Life Cycle race, or more if you would like to contribute more. And then you get rid of some yarn. Other people are happy because they have new yarn. You could, acquire some new yarn that you didn't have before, and help Gary out with his race. I participated, I think like 2 cycles ago, and he sent me a handwritten card and a pin, and it was just very thoughtful and intentional as far as like thanking us for helping out with his race. So Gary is a lovely person. We've never actually met in person. We live in the same state, but lovely, lovely person to help out. So if you are interested in either participating in Destash for Good or submitting some items to sell, I'm gonna have his YouTube and his Instagram linked down below so you can get some more information. And then I'll let you guys know what I have submitted so you can go bid on those items. So acquisitions, I have 1 acquisition. Late last year, late 2023, I joined Woolberry's, I don't remember what's collective, I think is what it's called, the Yarn Collective. It's like a yarn club. And so you pay like a membership fee, and every month you get 1 skein of yarn for free. You also get like discounts on anything else in the shop. You get free shipping on anything else. So it's been great. I've really enjoyed it. And I'm going to keep that up at least through 2024. So my selection for December came in like 2 days ago. So if you watch the video about how I'm going to be like watching my stash and working from stash, this is a 2024 acquisition, even though I paid for it in 2023 because it didn't show up until January 2024. So the first acquisition of the year is this sock set. This is, like I said, by Woolberry. Let's see what this camera's gonna do. And this is called Winter Chai, and it's on their Berry Cozy sock set. 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 480 yards, 120 grams. The big one is 100 grams, the little one is 20 grams. And I love those colors. I think that's gonna be really fun. Bethany and her team always have just beautiful colorways. So definitely check that out. Collective membership I think is closed for now, but check out her Instagram. She always gives lots of warning whenever they open up the collective so that you can join in. So you can pick, this is what I really like about it, her collective membership, is that you can pick your own base. It's not like sock yarn all the time. If you really want a skein of DK, you can get a skein of DK. If you want worsted, you can get worsted. And then if you want like a sweater lot of either one of these colors, they have 2 colors every month, then you can buy a sweater lot and you still have your discounts applied to that. So for this one, I just really wanted the sock set, so I got the sock set. For another one, I've done a sweater lot. I've gotten some worsted, I've gotten some DK. So I'm really excited for this year and all her colorways that are coming out. So there is my singular acquisition. So I'm currently at 109 skeins of yarn, but I'm almost done with 2 projects. So that number is going to go down a little bit. And then what I'm reading and what I'm watching, I just finished, like literally this morning, I finished Braverly by Maggie Stiefvater. It is the story of kind of what happens after the movie Brave. So you have Merida and her family. So it's a great book. I would say this is appropriate for like teens. It's pretty clean. Like everyone keeps their clothes on. I think there's like one kiss at the end. So very clean. Definitely a book I felt comfortable listening to in front of my kids. My kids are younger, so it wasn't any of those like, oh wait, you can't hear that. So great book. Maggie Stiefvater is one of my most favorite authors. So I have quite a few of her books. And then I didn't have time to pick out a new book. So I have some credits on Audible that I need to use up. So I'm going to be getting a new book today. But if you have any book suggestions, like what is your favorite book that you either read or listen to every year? I would love to hear that. I'm definitely a reader who rereads books. So there are some books that I read every year like clockwork. There are some books that I listen to just kind of when the spirit moves me. And then there are some like I need something new and fresh. So I would love to hear your book suggestions. What are you reading right now? What do you read every year? I would love to hear that. And then what I'm watching, we've been watching the new Percy Jackson series on Disney+. Percy Jackson came out while I was fairly young. I would say like junior high. Now I don't know when those books came out. My sense of time is a little off. But they're books that I have read multiple times. I own all of them. I love the idea of kind of mixing Greek and Roman mythology with kind of modern times. So I think it's a great concept. I have seen the movies that came out quite a while ago, and they were awful. They tried, but I don't think they tried hard enough. So I was a little hesitant about this show that was coming out on Disney+, but they have been doing an amazing job with it. I've really enjoyed it. So we've been watching that. And then for all my Bluey fans, there are new episodes of Bluey coming out today on the 12th. I promised my kids I would not watch them without my kids. However, I may watch like one or two without them because it's a brand new season of Bluey. And what is better than a brand new season of Bluey? So that's what I'm watching right now. If you have any show suggestions, I would love that too. I'm just kind of like bopping around as far as like what I'm watching. I'm not like super committed to anything right now, but that's okay. So definitely a shorter episode. I think when we don't have finished objects, we don't have as much to talk about. However, that's okay, right? We're gonna knit and we're gonna be happy. And I anticipate at least one finished object for next week, but we'll see. So thanks for spending a bit of your time with me. I hope that you have a lovely day, and I will see you guys next week. So find ways to be kind, and I'll see you guys later.